All right. Welcome back to 11:30. We are continuing going through section 7.4, and now we are in the annuity part of what's going to happen. So it says, figure out the future value of an annuity, round your answer to the nearest cent, delightful, and then we go off. We have payment of $3,400. APR is going to be 1.76%. Compounded quarterly, time is 9.5 years. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look up the formula for what annuity formula we're going to be dealing with here. So I have the future value of an annuity. That's always A, right? Future value is A. Right? So that's what we're going to calculate. R is going to be our payment. So we're going to write R here for the payment. We have 1 plus R over N raised to the NT minus 1 divided by R over N. So this one's going to be kind of tricky because we have to take apart this formula very carefully. So a couple of things that I would like to do before I go off to try to do this is I'd like to say, you know what is R over N first? So R is going to be 0.0176 divided by N is 4. So I'm just going to write that down, and hopefully that it's a nice, easy number, or at least one that doesn't have too many decimals into it. If it does, then I would calculate this, and your calculators often have like this STO button on it. That means to store it. And you're just going to pick a letter, like store it in A, store it in B, whatever. But I would store that number in your calculators if it has a lot of decimals, so you don't have to keep typing it in. Okay, I don't have a calculator that can do that because I'm using the calculator off of Google, because I want to demonstrate this with a calculator that's similar to the one that you're going to be having. I don't want to pull up my TI, emulator for my TI 83 or 84, because that's way too big of a calculator for you guys to have. And your first complaint might be, well, shoot, you can use that calculator. I guess I get the problem, right? Like, no, I'm using the same kind of calculator that you are to show you how you're going to go through and do this. I think the learning curve might make it a little bit easier okay, let's start with a nice small calculator to be able to do this. So I want my calculator, there we go. And we're just going to go through and say, okay, I want 0.0, okay, so we're going to clear all. I want 0.017, was it? Shoot. Oh, there it is. 0.176. That's what we're looking at. Okay, 0.176. Okay. And then what we're going to do. Okay, we didn't write anything down. Okay, we're going to divide it by N. N is 4 in this case because we're compounding it quarterly. So there's 4 quarters per year. And we got 0.0044. I'm going to write that down so that I'm going to keep track of it. So we have 0.0044. That's my N over T. Okay, this was just 0.0044. I'm going to double check to make sure that's what I've got, because that's always important. Calculate. Again, you're going to have a slightly easier time juggling all of this stuff than I will, but 0.0044, that's what I ended up. Okay. Next thing we're going to be dealing with. We want 1 plus this thing. Okay. We go back to here. Before we go into that, I would like to know, what's NT going to be? All right, my NT, we have 4 quarters times 9.5 years. Write this down twice because NT is going to be 4 quarters times 9.5 years, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. Let's go back to the calculator. So we're going to say, okay, this is 4 times 9.5 equals 38. Delightful. Okay, so we have this is equal to 38. And we'll go back over here where we are. This was equal to 38. Okay. So going back to this, 1 plus R over N, right? We could type that in because we know it's 1.0044. We can just do that. Okay, so we have 1.0044. It's 1 plus R over N. Okay, raised to, right? raised to the 38th power, because that was my n times my t. So raised to, oh, I don't want that. I wanted raised to the 38th power. Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, and now we are, okay, let's go to that. Let's go back here. We have all of this stuff done. We're not done yet. We still have to subtract 1 from it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my calculator so I can put this down just to make sure that we're going to both be on the same page. Now, this is going to be a problem because there's a lot of decimals, and you got to keep track of all of this stuff. So it's 1.81557207702. After we had all of this stuff done, the next step was to subtract 1. Okay, I'm going to subtract 1 from all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and subtract 1 from this. And then hit equals. Okay, great. I got 0.1, 0.181557207702. It's not going to be quite this tedious. As you do more of these, you will start to learn like what numbers you do need and which numbers you have to write down all of. But that's where we are. Okay, multiplication and division are on the same level. So what we're going to do next is we're going to multiply this by the payment. Okay, and the payment was $3,400. So we're just going to say, okay, times $3,400. Okay, hooray, 617.29, etc. Okay, so that's what we have for that spot. You could write this number down. That's fine. That's the whole top. Okay? The next thing we have to do is we have to divide by this r over n. See why we wrote it down first? Divide it by 0.0044. So we're going to take this number, divide it by 0.0044, and then we'll go ahead and be able to say, hooray, let's go ahead and put this out. This is going to be 140,294.21. We'll round it to the first cent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is $140,294.21. Okay, so that's what I'm going to type in for my answer here. Annuities. You know, I know there are people that are fanatics about annuities. God bless you. But the reason why most financial advisors will tell you not to invest in an annuity is because the people who sell them make a lot of commissions off of annuities. I'm not saying they're bad investments. I'm just saying the people who sell them to us often make a lot of money from commission by selling us annuities. So you have to be careful with what you're buying, how much commission you're going to be paying, etc. Not saying they're bad investment, just saying that you're paying a premium for the person who's selling it to you. And that's why financial advisors really don't like these. But for the right person, the right situation, this might be the right investment. So I don't know enough about everybody's background to say this was yay or nay. So let me stop you in suspense here. I wrote down my number. Let's go ahead and go back to Alex. And we're going to say the annuity is, we have 140,294.21. Okay. Go ahead and say check as soon as I can see the whole screen. Can't. Check. Fingers are crossed. Hooray. We'll go on to the next one. Just because you solve these, because somebody you asked for help and you did them, doesn't mean you know how to solve them. Okay. What I would do, you're allowed to have the formulas, write the formulas down on one page, label them. And then when you have a problem, go back to like, which formula did I need? Go ahead and grab it, write it down, and fill it out carefully with the calculator to make sure you're getting the right answer. But practice these until you are good at doing these things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop our video here. So I'll have to go off and do the next one. It's been a pleasure having you watch the video. I hope these problems start to become a little bit easier for you. But if at first it's really hard, they are really hard at first. Don't be discouraged. Don't think you can't do this. You absolutely can. It just takes practice. Okay, so thank you for watching.